You're watching TVC Breakfast. It's time to take a look at the papers this morning. Let's see what the headlines are across Nigeria. And to make sense of all of this, I have journalists with me here in the studio. My colleagues have Ify Odufowokan here. Nice to have you join me.
Good morning.
Thank you. And Ify Oyegbule is also here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Honorable Ify Oyegbule. Yeah, very good. All right, gentlemen of the press, let's begin with First news. Let's look at what it's saying here. The headline here says, Gumi or Obasanjo facilitate release of 27 kidnapped Kaduna Forestry College students. Gumi or Obasanjo facilitate release of 27 kidnapped Kaduna Forestry College students. When that news broke yesterday, there was jubilation across the state and even in parts of the country, waiting for the Greenfield students. Now, Daily Trust is where we go next. Daily Trust says, after 15 million naira ransom, one bandit released in exchange for 27 Kaduna students. Daily Trust says, okay. And then Daily Times, let's go to Daily Times now. Daily Times says, Obasanjo opposes secession, ransom payment. Okay. That's what the Daily Times says. Okay, let's move now to Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says, APC senators to minority caucus, your plan to impeach Buhari dead on arrival. Your plan to impeach Buhari dead on arrival. That's what the Blueprint newspaper is saying. Now, Nigeria News Direct is next now, and it says Nigeria might break up after 2023. Obasanjo is quoted as saying this. Nigeria might break up after 2023. Obasanjo is quoted as saying this, and it's on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. All right, from there, let's go to Leadership newspaper. Leadership says Abuja schools shut down as truckload of bandits arrive in border town. Abuja schools shut down as truckload of bandits arrive in border town. This on the front page of the Leadership newspaper, right? It's really troubling. Now, Nigerian pilot is next, and he says, suspend census. Suspend census. It's an emphatic statement here. The House of Reps advises federal government to suspend scheduled 2021 census and cite security challenges plaguing the country as reason. And head count now would miss out millions of displaced persons and wouldn't want enumerators posted to volatile areas of the country. These are some of the reasons the House of Reps is saying suspend the census exercise. Okay, that's the Nigerian pilot. Now from there, let's go to the national economy. National economy says decline in bond prices. Nigeria's pension fund asset plunges. Loses 51.3 billion naira in 1 month. Whoa, that's a lot of money. National economy. The Nation newspaper is next. The Nation says 27 abducted Forestry College students freed after 57 days. Buhari released 16 Greenfield University undergraduates, others. Okay, that's a statement from the president. That's the Nation newspaper. The Daily Sun is next. Daily Sun says jubilation as 29 Kaduna students regain freedom. And the ACF, others react. I didn't ask for money from anybody. Gumi is saying this. Arrest, interrogate Sheikh now. Fani Kayode tells the federal government. Right. These are all on the front page of Daily Sun. Now, the Vanguard newspaper is next. Vanguard says relief as kidnappers released 29 Afaka students. Obasanjo, Gumi broker release, and we share anguish of Greenfield University students' parents. The presidency is saying this. Obasanjo cautions federal government on payment of ransom. Says Buhari, Jonathan governments paid ransom but denied doing so. Arrest, interrogate Gumi now. Fani Kayode tells the federal government. All that on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Now, the last one we're looking at right now is The Punch. The Punch newspaper, Boko Haram attack plot on national Assembly, VIP locations causes scare. All right, Reps Committee Chair notifies legislators of police warning indicating terror attack. And lawmakers adjust movement to enter exit complex through presidential villa. All that on the front page of the Punch newspaper. All right, Dari and Ify, the point there is the story of the 27 or 29, you know, some of the papers have the figures, but then the students of the College of Forestry that were released was one thing that a lot of Nigerians were happy about, as you know, the step in the right direction when it comes to making progress. But talk to us about a situation where, okay, we have to release a bandit, you know, in exchange for the students.
Mike, you see, we are in very, very trying periods. When you begin to canvass the ideal in situations like this, you may actually not be realistic.
Okay.
The realities on ground are such that we can't begin to stamp our feet and say, this is what is right and that is what we will do. Before our very eyes, 5 students of Greenfield University were killed and their bodies dumped for us to see that, look, we are not joking. And there's a threat hanging above our neck that if you don't pay 100 million, I think today, we'll kill more or all.
Oh, so on Tuesday, I think so.
Now, the Afaka students have been in the den of abductors for 57 days. And the demands were that give us what we want or you'll never see them again. Beyond money, they were asking for exchange. You have some of our men with you, we want them to. To spare the life of these young ones, the release of one bandit, for me, is a painful step in the right direction. Very painful, because the implication of releasing criminals back into the society, we all know it.
Well, this time around, releasing them back to their hideouts to do whatever they do.
We're still in the society. They will still be within us, and they carry out more heinous acts. But at that point, our choices were very limited. Just like our choices over the Greenfield undergraduates are limited. When we give money to bandits or to criminals, we are helping them fuel their activities. But when we refuse to give, and they murder or kill our children, are we left with much options? The answer is no. We have allowed the situation to get to a point where we are no longer in charge. We no longer call the shots. These criminals are emboldened. They know the terrain. They understand what you can. They know what we can do. We are the ones who don't know what they can do. That's why they are showing us what they can do. With the killings of innocent ones. That will kill more. They are saying it with so much passion, as if they are doing what is commendable. That they will kill more. We have the lives of these young ones to protect, and the primary assignment of a government is the protection of life,
of lives and property.
Properties. So whatever we have to do to get these ones back safe, after having lost 5 of them, I will support it. I will plead with the federal government. I read somewhere yesterday where somebody is saying the CBN should go ahead and pay the 100 million if the governor in Kaduna is not willing. We should understand the fact that as a governor, El-Rufai is being idealistic, that look, we can't be giving money to criminals. He's saying the truth. But those who are saying he should budge are also saying the obvious truth based on the realities on ground.
So it's a difficult decision to make.
A difficult one to make.
All right. Now, Ify, the point there is, at this point, a lot of countries on the African continent look up to Nigeria to draw inspiration, to draw, as a role model, to learn a lot of things when it comes to strategy, tactic, taking examples from the Nigerian situation, when they paste it on their own template to try to see how they can solve their own problems. In the last, months that we've been hearing of kidnappings and all of this, and killings and so on, what kind of image is this really giving us outside, especially amongst those we lead on the African continent?
Sadly, I would say it's giving us the very wrong image. Nigeria has been in the news for the very wrong reasons. That's the truth. Instead of these kidnappings and killings abating and government nipping it in the bud, what we have is a group of persons who just sit down, going back and forth, having presidential spokespersons come out to talk instead of the president coming out to, put his foot down to say, look, we need to deal with this issue decisively. Dari just talked about an idea where it seems that like we're just between the devil and the deep blue sea. You cannot say people should not go or that government should not go to negotiate. 5 students were killed, gruesomely murdered, sent to their early graves. You have no idea what those children or students would have become tomorrow, but they are dead today. They probably have been buried. I hear that a family had to raise about 20 million just so they could release their own child. What of other parents who are not able to raise such amount of money? Yes, I may not agree that we continue to treat this with kid gloves, but we have to do the right thing. If you have to pay that money, some have said, why don't you put chips in the money? Or even the bikes. I'm sure you remember that. You recall that they asked for specific type of bikes. They're calling the shots. They're setting the agenda to say this is what we want. What's happening to our intelligence, for crying out loud? Put some chip, get to find them. Now, somebody talks to these people. Where are they? They're giving interviews, they're talking to the VOA and all of that. Why is it difficult to be able to reach them? So, to answer your question, it is for the wrong reasons that we've always been in the media. But for now, it's for the wrong reasons. And this is not something there are countries that are saying to their citizens now, don't go to Nigeria because of the things happening there. So it is really not nice. We need to begin to launder our image. And how do you begin to do that? It's about getting it right so that people can actually sleep with their 2 eyes closed. Okay.
As a fallout to the security issues, if you see the headline on the Leadership newspaper, says Abuja schools shut down as a truckload of bandits arrive in the border town. This is Abuja we're talking about now. It used to be in the northeast where, it's far away there somehow, even from the eyes of, people in the center. But now we're talking about Abuja now. If this headline is anything to go by, what are you foreseeing?
What we've been saying. Just what we've been saying. My worry is we have this headline, truckload, specific, of bandits identified, arrives border town, location known. Then, if that happened yesterday, I should be seeing headlines this morning on these online headlines. I would say, truckload of bandits arrested. Is it that we have lost the ability to fight criminalities, or we have decided to give criminalities opportunities to escalate? That's Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. You will recall that some few years here, we were praising the fight against insurgency in the Northeast, the fight against Boko Haram, when we said before then, there used to be bombing in Abuja and environs, that we've been able to restrict them to, but now they're back. Not with bombs this time, physically. They just want to start picking people. And what was our reaction? We shut down schools. Boko Haram simply means Western education is evil. Are we not closing down schools in agreement with their intentions? We no longer can protect our children. Rather, we take them to run away from criminals like hen will run away with its chick from the hawk. That is a shame that our response to threat is to be frightened as a nation. Internal aggression, we can no longer confront it. What happens if we are externally attacked? And every day we hear of humongous amount of money being budgeted, being released to the military. And every day we hear from the men on the field, the commanding officers, saying we don't have ammunition. What we did to ourselves with corruption, with lack of sincerity, with greed, is what we are reaping now. We embezzled our own safety as a people. We embezzled it. We embezzled the today of our children. We embezzled it yesterday. And now we are left with a situation where, rather than prompt response to threat, we chicken out. We scamper to hide. If bandits arrive, because we will keep giving them names, these are criminals, these are terrorists. But what did we just call them? Bandits arrived border town of Abuja. Are we not supposed to just move in there and get the criminals arrested?
All right. Now, just a little, about a month or two ago, there were headlines that in parts of Niger State, you know, there was hoisting of flags there that were not Nigerian flags. You know, 2 hours away from the capital city. Now, another headline today is saying Abuja school shut down as truckload of bandits arrive in town. Now, what do you make of this terrorism, criminality getting closer to the Federal Capital Territory? Does this make any difference from what we've been saying? Like Dari has said, we've been talking about this all the while.
I'm scared. That's the truth. I made a post yesterday to say how scared that I am. When you look at it, the fear in the land is actually palpable. You can actually touch it as it is. But I think they want to make a statement to say, look, we're not joking. We may be going to other parts of the north as it is, but this is where we want to get to now and make our categorical statement that this is who we are and this is what we want to do. Dari just talked about it. Everything is identified. Truckload of bandits moving close to, or they're already in a border town, close to the capital. What are we talking about? How did they know that there was a truckload of bandits? Now you have it, the bandits are there. By the way, why are we even calling them bandits in the very first place? These are terrorists, these are criminals. I'm wondering why Gumi had to say journalists should stop tagging them as criminals, where he now called all the journalists criminals. But be that as it may, this is something that I think these people are trying to say, look, this is who we are. We are here and we're going to get in. Once they get into your capital, what else is there for you? So I'm watching to see what it is that the president and the brand new service chiefs that he's just appointed, what it is that they are going to do. This is quite sad. And some people are talking about looking away from having a census. Who thinks about a census in a period like this? Are you going into the IDP camps to go count the people there? Or people who have been displaced? I hear there are flags hoisted in different local governments in some states across the north. What are we talking about? Is Nigeria, has it now become a place where, remember years ago it used to be bombs flying here and there. But today you just go to a school, soft targets, you pack the students. They don't even take like 10, 20 anymore. These are going into hundreds as it is. And this is quite sad. So something truly needs to be done. Because I tell you, Mike, we might say we're in Lagos. It won't get here, but sadly, it's coming close, and you never know who's going to be.
The issue there is, it's not even about the location where you are, because like we're here in Lagos, we have been talking about the northeast, we've been talking about Maiduguri, you know, and so whatever affects Maiduguri affects all of us. Whatever
are we not talking about
exactly whatever affects Katsina State or Benue, or it affects everyone. It's Nigeria we're talking about. Even in fact, there are times we've talked about the West African region and Africa as a whole. Now, if you mentioned the story on the issue of suspending the census. Census is a project that a lot of Nigerians have been looking, because the last known original census we had was in 2006.
But who needs a census now?
No, the point there is, well,
needs it now?
periodically, it is expected, ideally, that every country should conduct its census. Whether you do it physically the way we do it, or you have mechanism where where you get it done, but at least so that there is data to assist or enable planning and all of that. If census, because everyone is looking forward to this, if census is suspended, I wonder how much more of other things we're going to suspend. The paper we just looked at now said, shut down the schools.
We have shut down schools in
which is what the people wanted.
We have shut down schools in Kaduna. Schools are under lock and key in Maiduguri and Environ. Now we will not be doing census. It only proves to you that we are going to have to do a lot of shutting down if we continue to fail to respond appropriately to the threat we have on our hand. Talking about census, you said ideally, that's an ideal situation. But the reality now is such that counting ourselves is even trying to remind ourselves of how many of us are available for bandits to kidnap. It is not the issue as it is. The issue here is that we are unsafe. The IDP camps, I'm going to send people in there. The same IDP camps that have been attacked now by so-called bandits. There are parts of the country where the flags of other organizations outside Nigeria, other nations outside Nigeria, are now being hoisted. There are parts of this country...
Would you even call them nations? Because the point there is, they are criminal elements.
That's organizations.
From the names were called by so many people.
The truth of the matter is, if we are talking about census now, it will be that some people just want to ensure that they carry out this exercise for personal reasons. The country is unsafe. We cannot even have an adequate census as we speak, because some areas will be left unenumerated. And once you leave anybody, not even we're talking of a whole city or community or village or local government, just an individual is intentionally or knowingly left unenumerated, then the census is incorrect. So we must understand that on the list of our priority now, a census shouldn't be there. We should
face the realities of
that will make the places we want to go and do the counting safe first. If we have security, if we have safety, if the people are not threatened, disturbed by any form of criminality, then it will be easy for us to say, okay, we want to count ourselves once again. But why are we counting evil days? This is like counting our losses, as I will say it. Because are you going to be able, if we do the census today, how are we going to enumerate the Greenfield students? We will ask Boko Haram or is it bandit, please, how many of them are there? Let's add them to the figure. So census will be a funny thing to be told, to be considered at the time like this.
All right, we continue to pray for Nigeria, our country.
Nigeria needs prayers.
Things will be
you
better.
You pray and work. You just don't.
Yeah, of course.
Because all we do is pray, and we don't do the right thing.
We pray and work. All right, thank you very much, Dario Odufowokan, for coming on the program. Really appreciate you. And Ify Oyegbule, thank you very much for coming as well.
Thank you.
Good.